your views may differ in certain aspects. And so, because of your views and excuse me, how they may differ, this may cause certain emotions to arise. And that's also going to come to my second point, which is going to be how to use your emotions in certain ways. So, if you are hurting, if you're sad, angry, if you're hurting in any sort of way, try to use that in a productive way. Try to do push ups, try to do something on your computer. Just do something productive, draw, read a book, cook. Make sure you're just constantly doing something. Just because if you're constantly doing something and you're constantly telling yourself that you have a set goal and you need to go towards it every single day, then it's going to be less likely that you're going to be depressed and more likely that you're going to find something to fill that gap and to fill in that certain heartache. But also, if that heartache is for family or a close relationship that you don't want to get rid of, make sure that you're talking to that person. Make sure you actually want to get to know that person more and patching those holes up. Because if you just hold that in and don't talk to that person, bottle that emotion up, and just cause some sort of cataclysm, which that's metaphoric, but a cataclysm that will make your sibling and you clash, and you might have done things in the past that you feel were wrong, and you might have felt like the sibling did something wrong to you, but in the end, you guys are both siblings. You guys both need to make sure you reconnect, make sure you get past those past emotions, and make sure you build up those good connections again. Along with that, there's a lot of censorship of videos on YouTube. The censorship could be videos that are promoting something or trying to help men or just something that could be helpful in a way, even if they have different views than you may have. And those people may be censored over people that have been on the internet that are promoting the devil, promoting Satan, promoting just pure evil. And honestly, I feel like those people should be banned over people who are actually trying to help society, trying to advance us into the future. And just make sure that you don't just take one source, make sure you take multiple sources, and it's not just bringing up one point. Because if it's just bringing up one point and it's not covering enough bases, it might honestly just be bias and might be false information that the the news is trying to feed to you, and not all news is accurate and 100% truthful. It's just trying to spread information that might benefit them. And there's also a lot of information that comes from overseas and about wars and just a bunch of drama that the United States might say something about, but they're only giving half the side of the story. So make sure you're actually reading articles, maybe from overseas or from more reputable sources, making sure that it's not just the government from the United States. .gov websites, obviously, you could read up on those. Make sure you know what's going on in the United States, what's going on uh, half of the time in the other country, but also read up, like I said before, on articles, sources that are more biased towards other countries. Along with this, you might have working and it might be hard for you to manage your stress. And what I'm going to say towards that is that honestly, if I were to get fired, if I were to lose my job, or if I were to get a flat tire, get something that might seem bad, it's honestly all just minuscule. like, even if you do lose that job, or if you do get a flat tire, you can always replace that tire. Might be $150, 300, 500, you never know. But either way, make sure you address that situation. Make sure you get it fixed right away. If you see certain signs before that tire may break down or your car may break down, make sure you go to the mechanic, get that fixed. But also know that even if you can't do that, even if you don't see the signs, know that you're 100 times more lucky than anyone in third world countries, anyone in these other countries that can't even feed themselves, that can't even get water. It's just 110 times harder for them than it is for you. And you need to know that. Make sure that if you're working, make sure if you're in customer service that you give the customer the best service you can give them, because you never know what they're going through, and you also are there to serve the customer. Make sure the company is upholding everything that they want you to uphold. Make sure you're in proper uniform, on time, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm not on time a lot of the time, pretty much every day. But either way, I'm in proper uniform. I make sure that I'm nice to the customer, make sure that I have everything restocked for my my colleagues, or you could say employees. Make sure that you're actually trying to help, and make sure that other people respect you, and if as long as they respect you, you respect them. Make sure it's both sides, not just one side, because it's kind of like a friendship. Like I said in the last video, if it was only one sided, you're gonna feel like they're not giving enough, or they might feel like you're not giving enough. So make sure that you're just helping the customer. And I also work at Brahms. Like I said, I'm not on time all the time, but either way, I make sure to say, "Welcome to Brahms. How may I take your order?" And they're going to say, "Yes, sir. Could I get this, that, a large fry, a burger, milkshake, whatever they would like?" And I'll say, "Yes, sir. Yes, ma'am. And is there anything else I can get for you today?" And they'll say, either give me one moment, just say need to look on the menu, or they're gonna say, "Yes, sir. I'll get this," and they'll keep going on with the order, or they may be like, "No, sir. That'll be it." And then whenever they come to the window, I'll see how their day is. If their day is going bad, I'll try to see if I can help them fix their day. And if I can't, I mean, at least I was helpful. At least I was nice to the customer. And if that customer is having a good day, then I did my job. I made sure that I helped them, make sure they're having a great day. And along with this, make sure that you're just constantly moving. Don't just sit down just because you don't have anything at the window. Like I said before, make sure everything's restocked. Make sure you clean up after yourself. Even if like someone didn't tie a garbage bag, which is kind of annoying whenever I have to take out trash at Brahms, because they might not have tied it. The trash may dump over and spill on the ground. It's a little bit annoying, but it's really not that bad. Literally, all you have to do is just sweep it up with a broom, put it into the trash can, make sure the trash cans get dumped. It's just something that should be done. It needs to be done. So if they ask you to do something, make sure you do it. Now, if it's something that you completely disagree with, make sure you bring it up with them. Make sure that you're just doing everything to the best of your ability, even if you don't like it, even if you have to work 2 days a week, and then maybe start a business on the side, podcasts, make sure you're selling, reselling, cooking something to start a food business, making sure you're making phone cases, or just any business idea you have, you can just go out there and make it happen. So stick with that job. Make sure you're bringing in that 100% guaranteed income, but also make sure you're also bringing in income on the side, so that once you need to quit that job, then you're going to quit that job and you'll still have money coming in on the side. And also, like I said before, I don't really get stressed too often, just because I know that the government can't really do as much as what's going on in my head already. I always think that I'm gonna get fired. I'm like, oh, I'm gonna get fired. Well, if I do get fired, then I'm gonna make sure that I build myself up, make sure that I get another job. But I'm obviously not gonna get fired because they need me at the job. But I mean, just know that managing stress is the best thing you can do to make sure you're helping other people, making sure that you're kind to other people. Because if you're kind to other people, then obviously it's going to come back. They're going to respect you. You hold the door for them. They're going to say thank you. But also, don't say sorry constantly. Because if you say sorry, you're going to come off as weak. You're going to come off as someone who is frail. And you don't want to be frail. You don't want to be weak. You want to have a strong mindset, strong mental state, and stronger body. If you have both of those, make sure you have good connections with your family. Make sure you know maybe some millionaires, people who want to actually build themselves. Because once you have those connections, once you have people who actually are trying to build themselves, then you can also build yourself with them, making sure that even if you're the worst one in the group, sorry about that, my throat kind of hurts at the moment. But if you're the worst one in the group, make sure you're still developing your skills. Make sure that you are trying to compete with those people that you're in a group with. And just make sure that you're not the strongest in the group. And if you're the strongest in the group, you need to find a new group because you obviously do not want to be the strongest unless you guys are actually building each other still and you're even though you're the strongest are still competing, and if you were to slack off, then someone would pass you. So even if you're the strongest, make sure that there's someone still competing for that spot. Don't just be the strongest in the weakest group. That's just not a good state to be in. And another thing is there's a quote that says a it's better to be or to have a wolf leader and a following of sheep than to have a following of wolves that's led by a sheep. And that's an amazing quote just because there's so many leaders throughout history that have shown that they can build people into wolves themselves, and as long as they have a strong leader, they'll be a lot better than if they were led by a sheep. And so just make sure you're in a strong group, make sure you're having fun throughout life, but also make sure that you're saving, make sure you're investing, make sure that you're doing everything you're supposed to be doing, even if other people don't agree with it. If you feel like you're doing something great, if you feel like something is gonna keep you going and is actually going to fill your life, is going to actually help the people around you along with yourself, then I feel like you need to stick to that goal. Make sure that if anyone gets in your way that's not a family member, then still keep through that path. But I think that'll be it for all the points today. And I hope you guys enjoyed. You guys have an amazing night and an amazing day tomorrow. Thank you.